Hello, this is Team Dawgsforce, and today I will be giving you a brief demo on work that has been done during Sprint 3. So since we last met in Sprint 2, some work has been done on the user interface. So you see you now have the Campus Kitchen logo that reminds you that you are indeed working for Campus Kitchen, as well as some nice icons in the back to keep you motivated. And then we created this tile structure with improved icons to better help the volunteers understand what to click. And additionally, more of the beef of what we did this time is we created functionality around the destination object, which in Campus Kitchen terms is the agency that's receiving food from Campus Kitchen, as well as we created functionality around the destination delivery, which is essentially the instance or the delivery to a destination. And then we tied these two together and then created a report called distribution report that allows the administrator to view data on the operations. So if we look at some of the acceptance criteria in this sprint, we first look at the food destination object, and we want to be able to have 4 fields that are visible to be able to enter data about a new agency, as well as preventing people or volunteers specifically from entering destination info that already exists. And then finally, making sure that when you're filling out an agency profile that it is complete. So let's see what we did in here. You click Add Destination. And if you change the view to all, you'll see that we have 3 currently. So say a volunteer is not paying attention and tries to add another Salvation Army. So this is essentially a duplicate of the previous one. You will see that it will prevent you from creating a new instance. It says this destination already exists, no duplicate destinations are allowed, and this was completed through a validation rule, which is very important since the transient nature of the volunteers. Also, say we forgot, okay, let's change this to Musk Ministries, which is a new agency. Say we forgot to enter the address of the agency. It will also stop you to make sure, these required fields must be completed address. So these are important functionalities to add, and just to show you that this does indeed work. Let's say 3. You can save, and then you can see here that it was created. So if you need to edit it, you could click Edit, as well as viewing the list. So destination has been completed. The next is recording your food recovery, which is your instances of those deliveries. So this was completed in the destination delivery tile, which in the backend we call weekly distribution object. And the key here is to create a drop-down list where the status can be tracked, and that's a new upgrade that Eunice would prefer, so that when someone calls in and says the person wasn't home, she can very easily update the status. As well as on one page, it's important to be able to see all the current destinations and track them. And then we want the display to adjust based on different screen sizes. So they're going to be using iPads as well as laptops. So if we go back in here and look at Add Destination Delivery, this is where the functionality exists. And once it loads, we'll see we have different basically interactions here. So let's add a new one to kind of show you how that works. So in here, you can search for a name, and it limits you to only selecting ones that already exist. So say we wanted to add one called like Parrot Parkway, something random. It doesn't allow you to do that because it doesn't exist. You would have to add a new food destination, which comes up the form you just saw. So that's a great prevention of the duplicate data. But say, okay, Musk Ministries is our agency that we're going to serve. You would pick a date of when you're going to deliver it. Let's say October 1st. We're donating 120 pounds. And then this is the status update that we mentioned in our acceptance criteria. If it says successful, then the makeup delivery status is automatically NA because it's not applicable. It's done. You can record it and forget about it. However, if they're not home, which if the agency's closed or they're not accepting donations, then this changes to give you options. Do you need to still reschedule the delivery? Is it currently rescheduled? Has it been redone, or are you canceling it and saying, you know what, forget about it? And in that case, they might be on probation. So this kind of dynamic drop-down bar allows you to better track the status of deliveries. And then we created an event notes area here where you can say, let's say we rescheduled. So reschedule is set for October 3rd at 3:30 p.m. So then you can easily track, oh, this one's rescheduled. And the last thing to mention here is because we structured this way, you can easily filter in your report on makeup delivery status to see how many are completed and how many are currently scheduled, not scheduled, so units can better improve operations. So that's the weekly distribution, also known as destination delivery functionality. And the last main area for Sprint 3 was creating a report that tracks all of this data. So we want to have a custom report template so the user does not have to select each of their fields. They can easily see a report. You want to be able to edit the report to address certain inquiries such as date, as well as printing and viewing the report. So if we go back here, you'll see there's a tile for view reports. And these two reports we created in Sprint 2. This is the new one, food distribution report. If you click on that, you will see the pounds donated, the agencies that are receiving the food, the date it's donated, and then it's organized by name. So the customizability here is it can be achieved through the filter, and you can adjust the date. So let's customize it to, we just want to see the 1st through the 3rd. So if you click apply, you'll see that it took out one of the daily bread instances to update. So that's important. Also, we added this so the user does not have to delivery status equals successful, because if the delivery failed and they weren't home, we do not want to count that as part of a completed distribution. So that's an important kind of addition that the user doesn't even have to worry about. We added that functionality immediately. So this report can be printed, it can be viewed, and it's a great way to kind of have a snapshot in one moment of kind of where we are. So lastly, an important thing to mention here is they said they want the view to differ based on tablet and desktop. So if you were to be an administrator, this would be your view, essentially the same. And we organized these tiles strategically to have the most used near the top and then the least used near the bottom. So you're going to have donation and delivery instances, probably multiple per week. You might view reports once a week, a couple times a month. And then you're going to add a destination and a donor probably once or twice a year. So we've reorganized these in these Sprint to better accommodate for usability, and hopefully the volunteers will benefit from that. Moving forward in Sprint 3, in Sprint 4, you can look at the backlog up here. We will be working on the client side, so we now have the donors, we have the agencies we're giving to, but now we're going to add functionalities into the actual individual families that are receiving our donations. So we'll be doing the same functionalities as far as updating the objects in the fields and creating reports, but on the client side. So that's what you can look forward to, and we hope you enjoy what we have so far. Thank you so much.